Okay, we're just about done with the 6.01 lesson, Growing Apart. We read this. You should have your completed reading guide or looking at the lesson answer key. You should have that in front of you. Now let's look at the online activity, Compromise of 1850 and Beyond, and the map activity. So we'll go to this first one, and there are questions to pick from the drop-down menu. You can just try, and hopefully you will do better than just try. You'll know the answers, and when you're done, you'll click check. And obviously I got them all wrong because I didn't have any in there, but you try again and try to get some right answers, so on and so forth. And there's one more screen on this, and then you're done with that one. And then don't forget to do the next one, which is a map activity, which is really helpful to help you kind of visualize these areas that we're talking about when we're talking about the Kansas-Nebraska Act and the Compromise of 1850 and so forth. And this one you have to drag each label to the legend to its correct location on the map. So this first one up here in the upper right, we have these light gray states, and we'll do a couple of these. Free states and territories. Slave states, that's going to be here pointing to the south. Open to slavery by popular sovereignty. If you remember, that was dealing with the new lands acquired from the Mexican-American War, so that's Utah and New Mexico. And unorganized territory, hopefully you'll be able to read the label and you can match that up. And then check. Yes, very good. And after the Compromise of 1850, how many free states existed? And you have to count the states, not the territories, but all the states in green. That should give you 16. And if Utah were to become a slave-holding, who would have a majority in the Senate if both Utah and New Mexico were to become free states? The North, yes. And then Stephen Douglas introduced a bill to organize the Kansas and Nebraska territories. To appease his Southern colleagues, Douglas inserted a popular sovereignty provision into his bill. Label the newly organized territories on the map by dragging each label to its correct location. All right, we should remember which one of the free states and territories. All this area up here. Slave states, that's down in the south. Now, which one was open to slavery by the Compromise of 1850? Remember, that's the area that was brought forth from the Mexican-American War, Utah and New Mexico territory. And open to slavery from the Kansas-Nebraska Act. Hopefully you know that Kansas and Nebraska are over here. Let's check. Yes. Okay, which territories did not allow slavery from this list? Washington, Oregon, Minnesota. Free states and territories. Washington, Oregon, Minnesota. Let's check. Yes. How many territories were open to slavery? Okay, let's look. Open to slavery by popular sovereignty in pink. Utah and New Mexico, open to slavery by popular sovereignty. Nebraska and Kansas territory. So let's check if 4 is right. Yes. And the Kansas-Nebraska Act officially repealed what? What old compromise? That it repealed, that one that divided the North and the South from that land of latitude that ran approximately through here. If you remember the Missouri Compromise, that's probably right. And that was the end. We don't get a keyword at the end of this one. And if you want to restart it, you can, but that's it. And then we have to remember to take the checkpoint. And the checkpoint says that you are allowed to use your completed reading guide. There are 3 questions on the checkpoint, and you can use your reading guide for that. So good luck. And the next one will be debate and division in this, or not in the Senate, just says debate and division, lesson 6.02. And that video will be coming up shortly. Good luck on your checkpoint and enjoy.